Champion Bayley.
Let's go.
I basically laid down the challenge. If you want to go one more time, let's do it. Nia Jax didn't seem phased at all.
You know what happened the last time Bayley and Nia Jax were in the same ring? Nia Jax broke Bayley, and she's all too happy to do it again.
She showed up Sunday. I would lose my freaking mind.
Her opponent from San Jose, California, it's Bayley.
2 weeks ago, Bayley, after knocking off Alexa Bliss, said to the NXT Universe, I was knocked down by Asuka in Dallas. I was knocked down again by Nia, but I want another opportunity at Jax. She refuses to stay down. It is that never quit attitude that keeps Bayley going.
I admire Bayley's gluttony for punishment. She was knocked down in Dallas. She was knocked out by Nia. She's about to get knocked out by Nia.
There's no quitting Bayley. She still holds a contractual rematch for the NXT Women's Championship dating back to Dallas against Asuka. However, if you're a general manager, Mr. William Regal, this matchup could produce a #1 contender perhaps. Look at Nia Jax right after Bayley to start off this match, and Bayley has learned her lessons against Nia. They are 1-1 against each other.
Look at Nia just cutting the ring off, backing Bayley into a corner. Bayley's going to have to use her quickness. You said it before, she has defeated Nia in the past, but not this Nia. Nia Jax continues to evolve. She gets better, she gets faster, she gets stronger every time we see her.
They caught a hold of the arm there.
Look at that.
Perhaps Bayley paying attention to what it took for Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship against Nia. Perhaps using some of that playbook at the same time. What she did in London, the guillotine choke, was very effective. Oh, now launched into the corner. And again, in the early goings of this matchup, this is what Bayley's always had to contend with Nia Jax. There is no strength advantage whatsoever.
Come on, bring it out. Let's go.
Just trying to hold on to that side headlock here for a moment against Nia. Nia tossing her into the corner.
Nia just taking a second to compose herself.
It was Bayley who was asking for another shot at Nia.
Let's talk about the quickness just now that Nia Jax displayed. How fast she reversed that wrist lock.
You're absolutely right. This is a totally different Nia Jax, and I think she learned a lot in the matchup against Asuka. We talked about it at NXT TakeOver the end. She had to be quicker than Asuka.
Look at that. That's some unique offense by Bayley. That's using your surroundings to your advantage.
Going after the left arm here early on here of Nia Jax. You take away the arms, perhaps you take away the power of Nia in some of those opportunities. Now Bayley showing no hesitation into the corner here, up on the second rope and raining down shots on Nia Jax.
How easily Jax just picked Bayley up and placed her on the top rope. Almost effortless.
I've given this match a lot of time.
Up off the bottom rope here, caught up by Nia Jax. Bayley in a bad position. Oh, into the top turnbuckle.
Snake eyes.
That is what makes Nia Jax so dangerous. Can turn things around at any moment.
Cut Bayley in half on that middle rope. You heard her say, "Get out of my ring, you're a loser." Look at Nia. Cool, calm, and collected. She's going to let the referee count Bayley out.
Now mocking the NXT Universe while she's at it. Here's the count. Count of 3 here. 10 count for Bayley to get back into the ring and dives back in. They get right in here to Nia Jax. There's just no good positioning here. If you're Bayley, this kind of situation, how do you break free? Right into the top rope now.
Bayley better think of something quick, because the longer this match goes and Nia continues to dominate, it's not going to end well for everybody's favorite hugger.
Big elbow drop there from Nia Jax, follows it up with a second. Oh, he went for a third one and missed, and Bayley saw it coming. Well scouted there against Nia.
You can't scout raw power like this. Look at Nia Jax just imposing her will on Bayley.
They're caught in the corner here by Nia Jax. Oh.
You can hear Nia talking to Bayley as she destroys her, letting her know she thinks Bayley's a loser. Nia's confidence grows every time we see her. She's always been dangerous, but now she's kind of figuring out what she's capable of. And every time we see her, she gets better. And Bayley's experiencing that right now.
She got a taste of an NXT Women's Championship opportunity. She wants back to that kind of situation. Bayley does too. Right into the top turnbuckle. Look at Bayley trying to out-muscle Nia Jax. Right into the top turnbuckle multiple times here.
Bayley relentless as she needs to be. What a forearm by Bayley.
Oh, and again into the turnbuckle.
Nia seems a bit disoriented. Bayley needs to capitalize. This has been the biggest opportunity to this point. Oh my God, that didn't last long.
Nearly launched out of the ring by Nia, and again unceremoniously kicked out by Nia Jax. Can Bayley get back into this matchup here against Nia Jax? Nia Jax is in command. Nia Jax is dominating Bayley right now here in our main event on NXT, using the second rope to her advantage.
Yeah, before the break, take a look at this raw power of Nia Jax launching Bayley across the ring and shoving her out unceremoniously to the floor. The problem with Nia Jax for Bayley is anytime Bayley gets in close quarters, the power of Nia comes into play. Bayley's got to figure something out quick.
You've been in the ring with superstars who had a vast size advantage on you. What do you do when you can't get into the interior?
You have to figure something out. You've got to use the ropes. You're trying to go for the legs, the knees, the ankles. Thumb somebody in the eye if you have to. You may have to bend the rules if you want to beat Nia Jax if you're Bayley.
Now Bayley caught here in the middle of the ring by Nia Jax. Nowhere for Bayley to reach out to the ropes to break the hold. Just the way Nia likes this. Look at Bayley trying to fight back. Elbows there to the side of the face. Oh, and Bayley keeping Nia at bay for a moment. And again into the turnbuckle. Bayley's firing up. Bayley, went for a crossbody.
Oh, wow, what a backbreaker by Nia.
Covered by Nia. Pressing down here on Bayley, and Bayley had room to kick out. That's the one thing we have seen about Nia Jax is these cocky covers. And once again, tossed outside the ring is Bayley for a third time.
You say cocky, I say confident. Nia Jax has earned it. She's earned the respect of everybody that she stepped into the ring with.
Now count of 2, count of 10 to get back into the ring here for Bayley here in this match. Very important match. Could have NXT Women's Championship implications. Bayley trying to gather herself. Count of 5 here outside the ring.
7. This could be it for Bayley. She's still down. She's got 2 seconds.
Count of 9 and Bayley back into the ring. Well, right back to Nia Jax.
Thinking the same thing. Nia Jax just waiting for Bayley. All the energy that Bayley had to exert just to beat the referee's count was met by Nia in more brutality.
Nia Jax saying bye-bye to Bayley. Oh, there goes Nia. Nia tossed outside the ring. That took all of Bayley's effort to get Jax outside.
That's where the experience factor comes into play. Bayley knew where she was, used Nia's own momentum against her.
Now Bayley climbing outside the rope, perched up here on the apron. Oh, it takes out Nia Jax on the floor.
Bayley knows she's going to need to step it up, maybe take a few high risks, do some unusual tactics if she wants any chance of beating Nia Jax tonight.
Oh, and Nia.
Oh no, Nia's got bad intentions and
oh! Nia went into the stairs.
Bayley just not only saved the match, she may have saved her own career there.
Oh, diving back into the ring. Count of 1 here.
Take another look. Full head of steam. Nia Jax plunges right into those stairs.
Count of 4. Nia Jax has to a 10 count to get back into the ring when you count it out here against Bayley. Count of 6. Can Nia Jax gather herself here? Bayley could get the victory just like this with a count out. And Nia Jax back up on the apron by 9. Oh, and caught by Bayley.
Nia able to have the count broken with Bayley.
Using the second rope, and Nia Jax is hung up inside the rope.
Look at this. This is fire coming out of Bayley.
This is brilliant. Oh, the drop kick. Nia was trapped momentarily in the ropes. Bayley once again down to the midsection.
This resurgence from Bayley. She's coming full speed ahead for Nia.
Coming in with some force.
Oh my God, and a knee to the kidneys. Nia just needed a moment to compose herself. That knee driven right into the lower back of Bayley.
Oh, into the steel post.
Bayley able to escape just quickly enough.
Oh, and the knee. Once again, Nia Jax was caught on the rope.
Nia Jax is not down. Nia is still on her feet somehow, some way.
Bayley going to the top rope here against Nia Jax. Look at her crossbody. This time it connected. Cover and broken out of it with power was Nia Jax.
It took a crossbody from the top rope, but Nia Jax is finally down in the center of the ring. But can Bayley capitalize? Can Bayley take that next step?
Oh, was looking for Bayley to belly.
Powerbomb by Nia.
Saw this a couple of weeks ago. Nia Jax. Wait a minute, look at Bayley trying to outmaneuver Nia. Whoa.
Victory roll.
Shoulders down, shoulders down. Nia popped out.
Nia's getting frustrated.
Nia Jax missing wildly.
Oh, man.
And there's all of her force into Bayley, dropping the former NXT Women's Champion.
It's like Bayley running full speed into a brick wall.
Oh, look at this.
The power on display. Oh my God, a jackhammer, that's it.
Cover here on Bayley. Bayley got her shoulder up at 2.5.
How in the hell did Bayley kick out of that? Nia Jax, all of her force, all of her power down that jackhammer. And Bayley kicks out.
Look at that.
That woke the crowd up. The hometown advantage. Home field advantage for Bayley. This is it.
Nia Jax looking for the leg drop.
What's she doing? Oh, Nia's gonna end Bayley once and for
God.
all. This is it.
Oh, no. Bayley's right in the back
Really
position.
thick and something.
Oh my God! Bayley to Billy from the middle rope.
Bayley has pinned Nia Jax.
Here is your winner, Bayley.
What a battle! What a contest!
Bayley proving her heart and guts here in this match against Nia Jax.
That's what makes Bayley so beloved. The heart, the will to dig down deep after surviving Nia Jax. Watch this right here. Bang! Nia Jax.
Now watch this. Look at her jackhammer. This almost ended very badly for Bayley. Well, here's the cover. Nia Jax nearly had her and kicked out. Almost a 3 count there. Nia Jax's face tells the story.
Nobody in this building more shocked than Nia. Nia looking to end it in a big way, but Bayley somehow, Bayley to Billy from the ropes. That's one way to take down a giant.
That is one way we never thought we'd see. Nia Jax go to the top rope and then Bayley pin Nia Jax.
All in the name of advancing in the women's division. It's the best in the world at NXT, and Bayley rolls on with her quest.